Welcome to our episode of Bargain Saturdays, and this week I decided to take a look at The Frog Kingdom, a film whose biggest complaint, apparently according to the trailer, is that it rips off plot devices from a lot of other films. And I somewhat get that point, but other times it just really gets underneath my skin and bugs me, because there's only so many plot devices to be had out there. Like, how many original plot devices do you think any of these films really have? And my answer is pretty much going to be none. None whatsoever. Like, even some of the stuff in Mulan, you can point to other films that did the same thing. It may have been a more minor plot point, but is, like, there. Like, you're like, oh, Mulan ran away from home and joined the army. And like, well, what about a kid in King Arthur's court where the King Arthur's first daughter, the princess, the first princess, is running around as a black knight fighting evil and undoing her father's injustice. And at the end of the film, it's like, oh, you've won the right to choose your own husband, daughter. I mean, you're out there fighting for me and doing my job for me, really, and correcting my own mistakes. So, like, even though I was going to make you the prize for this tournament, like, you can pick your own husband. Like that's a plot device in this film. Like, you had the Frog Olympics, and it's all about choosing who gets to marry the main frog here. Princess Froglegs. So, yeah. The plot devices not being original isn't the problem. The problem is that the movie doesn't know what to do with those plot devices for the most part, or it just seems to struggle to do anything with them that really draws in the audience. Because I found myself constantly stopping after watching like 20 minutes of this film or so, and then stopping to go do something else for like 5, 10, 15 minutes. Then coming back to it to watch another chunk, and then going away again, because it doesn't hold your interest that well. It's not good enough to really keep you invested for long periods of time. In fact, the best parts of the film are usually the action sequences. But even those are a mixed bag. Like, when the snake's fighting, you'll see it just, like, all of a sudden, like, oh, the snake's coming at us, and, like, switch to the attackers, or the defenders, I guess, in this case, technically. Like, launch arrows, and they'll, like, all start firing their arrows, then we'll cut back to the snake, and, like, just all the arrows are hitting and doing nothing, and, like, just bouncing off its thick hide, like, ha 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 ha, you can't do anything, frogs, I'm coming for you. And then they'll jump back to the archers being hit by the snake, and they're just all flying in the air, but you don't see the snake make contact with any of them. It's like, just, everyone's just being blown away by the sheer aura and power of the snake. It's like they're near Cell, and they're just being thrown away, like in the Cell games, when the normal humans are trying to challenge Cell. He's so uninterested, he just powers up slightly and just throws a guy into a mountain. Like, you're just wasting my time. Can we get to the real show here? Of course, then you get to the heroes, the main characters, and like, oh, there might only be like 6 of us or so, but we're gonna take you down, Snake. Like, the 6 of us can stop you. And of course they do it. Of course they use the snake's own ice machine to turn him into a snake sickle. He then gets lodged in there, and I guess he'll be frozen forever until the ice machine breaks. But, by that point, he'll probably be dead from being frozen to death. So, does it really matter? Another problem with the film, I think, is just the main villain. From a Western perspective, if you know anything about snakes, you realize they eat each other. And it doesn't make sense to have the snake's motivation being, oh, the frogs killed my dad, because you waged a war against them years ago. Like, why does the snake care? Like, seriously, snakes, like I said, eat each other. They'll even eat snakes from the same species sometimes. So there's no real love between snakes, at all. Like, there's almost no maternal instinct, like, at all. Like, they'll just turn on each other if they can get away with it and devour each other. Like, so why should I be, invested in a snake whose main goal is revenge? And not to mention, he's so evil, he basically admits, like, I should eat my own minions for their own incompetence. But he usually is like, oh, no, I gotta save my appetite because I'm hungry for destruction! Like, damn, like, can we just move on? Probably the best part about the snake is its voice, and it's just because it's such an odd choice in voice, that it just stands out, and it's just one of the more interesting aspects of the film. But that sort of says a lot about it, doesn't it? Like, the most interesting thing is the choice in voice casting rather than the film itself. Another problem with the film is the jokes. A lot of them are very referential, so you'll get jokes like, oh, we're playing Quidditch, a game that's nothing like Quidditch, a sport played by English wizards, and stuff like that. Honestly, the best joke of the film is probably this one.
Your poopiness! Come on, this is no time to get pooped!
And if you didn't find that funny, you understand why it's hard to really get invested in a lot of the humor in this film. It's just not very appealing to an older audience. Maybe a younger audience would get more of a kick out of it, but if you've been around, for a while, you're like, I'm no spring chicken anymore, you'd be like, man, can't you come up with anything better? I mean, I've heard that one before. nothing new under the sun, I guess. I guess if I had to pick the movie's biggest strength, is just that's forgettable. It's just very middle of the road. Like its best strength is just that's forgettable. I mean, decent CGI, but otherwise it's just forgettable. It's like it's in the middle there. I mean, it's not on the upper part of the middle or even the middle part of the middle. It's just on the lower part of it. But still, it's one of those forgettable middle of the road movies. There's just not much going for it that you're gonna remember for it. Remember in the long run, you're gonna be like, yeah, you're just gonna throw it out of your mind and focus on something else. And just be like, whatever. That was the thing I watched, but I don't remember much about it. Eventually, it's just something you'd be like, yeah. Until next time, then. See ya.
Uh,
Bye bye.
This is awkward.
Ew.